Don't go. I think the cheapest time to travel is other than that, but depending on how you fly, how you combine your flight.
认为出国玩是一件很花钱的事，而却不，但是玩得绑手绑脚，那就让外国旅游达人们传授给你能够玩得尽兴又省钱的小秘诀吧。
People usually spend the most on flight and accommodation, right? And do you have any money-saving tips on these two?
There's a lot of apps lets you find like the cheapest way to fly around.
Don't go on the weekend, go on Wednesday, like those days. I think the cheapest time to travel is in November. Other than that, but depending on how you fly, how you combine your flights. So for example, last time that I went to Japan, first to Vietnam and from Vietnam to Japan. I was going directly from here to Japan. Those two flights costed the same. You can use Ryanair. Cheapest trip was to Belgium from Italy, and I paid €8 for a flight.
What? Is normal?
No, normally I would say you can range like from 7 said, but it can even be 200. I would say what you need to do when you search flights on Google Flights, it says also a sort of graph when the price went up or down. So you can see, for example, if the price is good. That is one for sure.
那住宿呢？
还是便宜一点。只是如果你住再便宜一点，你还要花一个车费吧。
One tip I would give actually is usually if you book things like straight through the hostel, it's cheaper. So what I would do is like on the app I use to book hostels, I would just book like one night at the hostel via the actual app. But then when you get there, you can extend your stay at the front desk and it's a little bit cheaper because you don't have to pay like little like service fees that are in the app and stuff like that.
Nice.
We did an Airbnb for Manila and we got like the best view and it was cheaper compared to the other hotels in Manila. I think our Airbnb was only about 2,300 pesos per night, but compared to the other hotels, it's about 5,000 pesos per night. If the Airbnb owner is very nice, which ours was, you can get a bunch of access to free things.
那除了就是省机票跟住宿之外，你还有其他在什么地方可以省钱的吗？
你很了解你去的地方，你就可以买到比较便宜，所以那个也是一个功课。
那你那个时候有查到在哪里买东西会比较便宜吗？
应该在都市的东京，因为人潮多嘛，那边东西比较便宜。然后你去比较便宜点，每一样东西都贵了2次。
We don't go into the flash restaurants. Why? We're here to experience Taiwan. We want to try the local restaurants. We know the food is good and safe because the locals are eating there.
可以杀价，就是你要一直给他都选，大概1半左右，对，应该是最刚好。
Have you ever done anything ridiculous to save money?
Now in the airport, in order to not have to pay for overweight luggage, I did fill all my pockets with the heaviest stuff that I am carrying around. So otherwise, I would have to pay like 70 extra US$.
他在日本的时候，因为开车有时候直接在日本厕所吃。
没有，但是一个挑战。
我那时候在想说，就是剪刀石头布，输的人就去喝厕所的蛇口水，然后我刚好输而已。
就是这样而已，我不是刻意去喝的。
真的只喝了那么一次吗？之后还有因为省钱所以去喝更多次吗？
有喝民宿的水啦，但他们不是标榜可以生饮吗？所以我就想说，喝了应该也没事吧。
I would just say like extreme as in leaving on flights at 2 a.m. We were sleeping in the airport because it was the middle of the night and almost like falling asleep and missing the flight. And then the lady comes over and shakes me like, oh, okay, we're coming.
Is there any inconvenience where you slept in the airport?
Yeah, the ground's hard. It's cold.
Walking in a typhoon.
Oh yeah, that was my idea. I was like, I'm not paying for a cab, so we should just walk to the hotel. And then
we got caught in a typhoon. And we were soaked.
下大雨，下大雨，又下大雨了。
That's about $2, so we saved like $2 for that, but we went through a typhoon, so I don't know if it was worth it. And we got sick the next day, but it was okay.
Where did you go on your cheapest trip?
Cheapest? Probably Vietnam.
What kind of thing do you think is cheap in Vietnam?
Everything is cheaper. If you buy like a meal for 4 people in like a casual restaurant, maybe it'll be like only $20, $40. In the US, maybe like $70 for 4 people.
Huh?
Probably Japan, I'd say. I think where it was like the most noticeably cheaper than other places was with food.
Can you compare the food price with Japan and Taiwan?
In Taiwan, I think the food's a little bit more expensive than in Japan, but honestly not by much. It's still pretty cheap in Taiwan.
Definitely still your home island. Oh, we stayed there for like a month.
Everything included. I think I spent about 1,000 pesos, like a full meal with like proteins, your starches, and then the drink. It's about like 99 pesos.
For someone who is going to travel in your country, do you have any suggestion to them to save money?
Those kind of like scooters you can ride around versus like Ubers. Those scooters can really get you around pretty far and they're so cheap.
If you're in Spain, I guess most of the people that go to Spain go to Barcelona. Barcelona is not the cheapest place. If you go to the south of Spain, you can get cheaper food, cheaper accommodation, and the most beautiful part of Spain probably.
To really explore New Zealand and get out into the countryside, into the real New Zealand, you'd have to have your own car or hire a car. So I'd say travel in a group, like 4 or 5 people, and then you can share the cost of hiring a car.